So welcome. We're doing our first lesson on, I know I spelt it wrong, archetypes, different aspects of the personality. So we're learning again loads of new adjectives to describe people. Let's take you through. If you're naive, you're simple-minded, you believe everything that you're told. A very nice way of calling it is he's a very innocent person. Innocent. Gullible is a word we learned the other week. If you're naive, you're gullible. Empathic, you're compassionate, you really understand the feelings of others. You put yourself in their shoes. Pretense, fake, false, unreal, yeah? Conspicuous, you stand out. That's a great little phrasal verb. You highlight yourself, everyone sees you. Remember that you can physically stand out if you look different, or you can stand out by speaking up and by being heard. Competent, you're adequate, you're okay, you're able to do things. It's just a very average thing, it means fine. Of course, you can then make it a bit higher by saying you're very competent. That's much better, yeah. Chicken out, we learnt it last week, but we didn't really, so I'll tell you. It means you're a coward, you're scared. You're so afraid that you don't do something. You say, oh, I chickened out of that because I was too scared. Arrogant, egoistic, overproud, rude. You think you're better than others. A great expression we learned maybe 3 years ago, if you remember. Big-headed, do you remember? Yeah. Yay. Altruistic, unselfish and helpful. This is the important bit though. You're not just helpful. You help others without the need for a reward. You just do it because you said, as you said, something like it's in your blood. Yeah. In your soul, I like that. In your blood, man. Exploit. If you exploit someone, you use them, you take advantage of them for your own personal gain. If you feel restricted, you feel fenced in. Just like at school, you have to follow certain rules and you feel a bit restricted by it. If you conform, you toe the line. That's the expression we learned. You obey things, you do things, but you don't really want to. You do them reluctantly. I don't know if you know that word. Autonomous. If you're autonomous, really you're independent. That's what it means. You're an independent person. If you disrupt things, you disturb them, you agitate them, you make people feel uncomfortable by doing something that's challenging. Ingratitude is the opposite of gratitude. It means when you're not thankful. If you're a misfit, this is what I really like. You just don't fit in. You're a misfit. You don't fit in. I wrote here, you're weird, but yeah, maybe you are too. If you soothe, this is like a verb, I forgot to mention, and you calm someone down. You calm somebody down. Now over here, we have loads more. This is just the first part of our archetypes lesson. So if you're narrow-minded, you don't accept new ideas. You've got your own fixed opinion and you're just completely closed to everyone else's. It's the complete opposite of open-minded, where you're open. If you're absent-minded, you're forgetful. We've done that a few times. If you stand in for somebody, you take their place, you replace them temporarily. Look, I can't attend the meeting tonight, I don't feel well, will you stand in for me, please? Stand up for someone, you support someone, you really represent them. You stand up for their beliefs or something like that. If you stand by, you wait and you're ready. However, I did learn a new one of this. It's not new, but it felt it in my head. Have you ever heard this expression? I saw someone being mugged, but I just stood by. That's the more literal meaning of that particular phrasal verb. Stand by here is more idiomatic because it doesn't really mean what it says. To cut in means to interrupt somebody. Excuse me, can I cut in? Yeah. To give in means to surrender. To give in is the same as give up, by the way. To take in means to really absorb all this stuff. I hope you're taking all this in, guys. You really absorb it and you understand and you remember it. That's another thing about it. You remember all of this stuff. Now, if you're out of line, you break the rules, you cross the line. Somebody will come up to you and say, look, you were completely out of line for what you just said to that person. That was wrong, what you did. You take the hard line, you do something difficult, or you make, apologies for my spelling, you make a difficult decision. If you toe the line, what was that?
We did this.
Oh yeah, if you conform, you toe the line. Yeah, we did that. If you walk the line, what I'm saying is really you walk the thin line. You do something really risky like Dinah. You know, she's a maniac. She does these really risky things. And if you are meek, you're weak and poor. That's what meek means. Although don't forget, the Bible says the meek shall inherit the earth, which means the poor and the weak are great.